Hey Happy Valley, I'm Brooke Steach, joined alongside by Zech Lambert and our third host Seth Engle for our first show of the fall semester. We're here to bring you the latest news from Penn State and State College.
Coming up today, we'll discuss the coronavirus vaccine mandate for all Penn State faculty and staff.
Then we'll discuss Penn State football quarterback Sean Clifford's injury and how it impacts the team in the upcoming weeks.
But first, here are the latest headlines.
CATA announced on Twitter its downtown football shuttle has been suspended for the remainder of the season due to staffing shortages. Other route services were also adjusted starting October 4th.
Penn State football announced the date of its annual Blue-White game. The inter-squad scrimmage is set to take place Saturday, April 23rd. And while the exact time has not yet been announced, it is tentatively set for an early to mid-afternoon kickoff.
Due to a shortage of staffing, Penn State Dining is temporarily modifying its dining locations and hours. Beginning on October 16th, South Food District and Reddifer Commons will only be open from Monday through Friday. On October 25th, In a Pickle, Reddifer's made-to-order deli station, will open.
Penn State, in collaboration with the Borough of State College in Center County, will host a series of events beginning November 11th in celebration of the 10th annual Military Appreciation Week. Military Appreciation Week will feature both in-person and virtual events for veterans, current service members, and local community members. Coming up next, we'll discuss Penn State's updated coronavirus vaccine mandate for all faculty members.
Welcome back. Penn State University Park just mandated that all of its faculty members are fully vaccinated by December 8th, which is the end of the fall semester. So guys, what do you guys think about this news coming out just this week?
Honestly, it seems to me like it's a little bit late. I'm not really sure what took Penn State so long to do it. It was in compliance with President Joe Biden's mandate that all government and federal workers need to get fully vaccinated, but that was like almost a month ago that was announced, and Penn State just now decided that it's going to mandate it for only employees and staff only at University Park, even though the percent of staff already vaccinated is over 80%. So it seems a little bit too late for me, and I don't know what you think, Seth, but I think it's just too little too late.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Penn State's faculty, I'm pretty sure, is at about a 90% vaccinated threshold. So, it seems more like a PR stint than anything else, because this is kind of coming after Barron and Penn State University faced this whole kind of PR ruckus by not mandating a vaccine prior to the school year or even early on in the school year like most other Big Ten schools did. So now we're already at the point in October where it's like, okay, what are we going to do? People aren't happy about, students not getting vaccinated. And it's like, well, what's the point? It just seems like a little message you're putting out there. 90% of faculty is already vaccinated. Obviously, I believe it, it should be a thing. I think students should have to get vaccinated as well. That's my opinion on it. But I agree with you. It's very late.
Yeah, and, like you said, it does seem like a bit of a PR stunt here from Penn State, but at least it is that step in the right direction to get all faculty and staff to that 100% threshold, no matter how it may come. So hopefully the students are next, but it remains to be seen.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys, and I'm glad that Penn State is taking more steps to be safe for the next semester. Up next, we'll talk about Penn State's quarterback situation.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Zech Lambert, and this is my pick of the week. This week I'm going to the music industry, and I'm going to pick Mac Miller's mixtape, Faces. Now, Faces was originally released in 2014 just as a mixtape, but it's now available on all streaming platforms and on vinyl. This is vintage Mac, and it's got a little bit of everything, from just generally vibey music to sad, some happy, and even some hype music. It really displays Mac's full talents, and it's awesome to hear, and it's a great listen. I'd highly recommend you check it out.
Penn State quarterback Sean Clifford suffered a second quarter injury during the Nittany Lions' loss at Iowa. While no news regarding Clifford's injury has been released, what impact would it make on the team if he's unable to play next weekend against Illinois?
Yeah, Sean Clifford is he's a 3-year starter at this point. His absence cannot be understated or overstated for that matter. He is kind of just that glue guy on Penn State's football team, and he's been great this year too. That's the thing. Up until the point of the second quarter of Iowa, he had thrown for over 150 yards. Penn State was up 14-3, I believe. And unfortunately for Nittany Lion fans, he has that injury still. It's undisclosed at this point what it is or how serious it is. There are just a lot of questions surrounding that. You want to talk a little about Taquan Roberson or what you've seen from him against Iowa and what we may see from him in the future?
Yeah, well, if Sean can't go against Illinois, it's likely that it could be Taquan Roberson starting. He has been splitting reps in practice with Christian Vayu, but Taquan, would probably get the start. And against Iowa, I mean, he was just bad. He was 2 of 16 on passes that went beyond the line of scrimmage, 0 of 7 on passes that traveled 10 yards or more, including 2 interceptions, missing wide open receivers consistently, and that's not what you need if you want to beat a top-ranked Iowa team. And honestly, it's going to be tough to beat Illinois even with that kind of passing, especially with how much Penn State has struggled to run the ball this season. So unless Taquan can come out against Illinois and be a serviceable quarterback, Penn State could honestly be on upset watch the week before they go to Ohio State.
I think he got to slow down a little bit when talking about Taquan Roberson, because he came into a situation that he had no business being a part of. And I think a lot of the blame has to be put on the coaching staff for just not preparing him at all for that. They didn't prepare him for a single game this year, not even talking about a game against the number 3 team in the country. So he comes in and he plays over a half of football. You can't put all the blame on him for that. I think having this whole week of practice where he's taking reps with the first team, I think that could really, do him numbers when it comes to the game against Illinois. And I think the same thing for Vayu. I do believe that Roberson will get that start next week, but I'm not ruling out Vayu's first appearance for the blue and white.
While we're on the
career.
topic, though, of injuries, a lot of people are saying that Penn State, was faking their injuries throughout the game. I saw Franklin address the media about that. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about that anymore. It's Franklin delivered a nearly 5-minute segment the other day, just kind of bashing Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz, bashing, booing injured players in general. It really doesn't have any place in the game. I feel like there's kind of not much more to say about that anymore. What are your thoughts there, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost beating a dead horse at this point. Penn State, we know where they stand on it. We know where Iowa stands on it. And now we really know where James Franklin stands. And it's hard to say that Penn State was faking injuries when you see guys returning to the sideline on crutches. And, as James Franklin announced Wednesday, P.J. Mustipher, he's done for the season for Penn State. So it's a huge blow. And all the guys that went down with faked injuries were Penn State's best defensive players. We saw P.J. Mustipher, Arnold Ebiketie, Jaquan Brisker, who has gone down in other games too. It's not like Penn State was sending out backups to go down with fake injuries. It was their best players and guys that you don't want to lose from the field. So to say that they were fake injuries seems way over the top and kind of a reach, and I think that's exactly what James Franklin was hitting on Wednesday.
It should also be mentioned that faking injuries is a strategy for some teams. It has been used, but against a team like Iowa, where that's a huddle offense, and they're really not fast-paced, and they're not running down a defense every single play, that's not really a team that you would employ that strategy against. So that alone kind of, aside from the best players going down on the team, it really just doesn't make sense in that moment. So, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on that whole fiasco.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both your guys' takes. And honestly, I'm excited to see how the team does after the bye weekend. I think it's good that they had some time to rest there with this weekend heading into homecoming. And we'll have to wait and see the update on Sean Clifford's injury throughout the next couple days.
Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Hey Happy Valley. Be sure to like this video, comment, and subscribe to the Daily Collegian's YouTube channel.
Thank you for watching, and remember to visit collegian.psu.edu for all the latest news.